Okay, we're going to be making coconut yogurt, homemade coconut yogurt. First, what I get is this Exotic Superfoods coconut meat, and it's frozen in the frozen section from Whole Foods carries it. And it's organic and raw. So all I do is I use the large cup from the NutriBullet, and I pour the whole thing in, the liquid and everything. Just put it in there like that. And this stays good in the fridge after you thaw it for like 2 or 3 days. So you have to make sure after you thaw it that you use it within 2 or 3 days. Which I might have gone over, but I think it'll be okay. And then what I do is I use this Udo's Super 8 High Probiotic, High Potency Probiotic, 42 billion cells. This also you can get at Whole Foods. You can use 2 or 3 capsules. 3 capsules is coming out. And this has to be refrigerated as well when you buy it. And you just open the capsules and put them in the with the coconut meat. These are not, these are still good, the expiration date. So sometimes the moisture gets in there, but this should be okay. Okay, so I put about 3 of those capsules in with the meat. And then what I use is I take this Echo Bloom. This is probiotic, dietary fiber, natural chicory extract. It's called Echo Bloom. It comes in this big tub. I get it at a place called GoneGreenStore.com. And this you have to keep really dry because it hardens up. It takes moisture. It takes in moisture, which shouldn't be a problem in Vegas since it's dry out there. So you take 1 scoop of that and put that in there. And then I take a packet of kefir starter. I don't have the original box for the kefir starter, but this is 1 packet of kefir starter, and it's called Body Ecology is the name of the brand that makes it, and you can probably order it on Amazon.com, or probably better to get it at Whole Foods because it needs to be refrigerated. So they have it probably at Whole Foods as well, or you can look online and find out where to get it. So this goes in like that. It's supposed to be powdery. I don't know why this one is like that. Maybe it's been in the fridge too long, but it's not expired yet. So you put that whole packet in there like that. This is probably where film editing comes in. Okay. And then you put water. You have to make sure it's purified water. Can't just be mountain spring water or tap water. This is ultra purified water, but it's okay. You can use just purified water. Just make sure the can or the bottle says purified water on it. So you pour that, and I pour it to about the beginning of where the twist on. So this lip right here, I don't put the water past this lip. So just to about there is where I leave. So I leave some room. That's probably enough water. So the width of this part, I don't fill it up to there. I fill it up to the bottom of this right here. Okay. Then I put the cover on to do the blending. Make sure it's tight on here. Put it in the NutriBullet. About 20 seconds. Okay, that's probably good enough. So then you have it's all blended together. You can put as much or as little water in it depending on how liquidy you want it. I don't mind it with more water. Why is this not turning on now all of a sudden? Oh, shoot. There. Okay. So then what I do, because as it ferments overnight, I usually leave it out overnight to ferment. And that's usually long enough, like 12 hours is long enough. But I noticed the last few times I made it, when I tried to open this, it exploded all over the place because it fermented and it grows as it ferments inside. So I take a smaller cup and I fill it up about halfway. And I let a smaller cup ferment overnight. And then I just, and then this is just simple. Just take all the excess and spatula it out of here. Just do that. Clean down the sides so it doesn't get dried out, because it'll dry out if it sits on the sides like this. So I take a small spatula and just get it all off the sides, because you don't want it to get all dry, and it's kind of gross if it dries out like that. So then I make sure the lip of the can is clean, because when you close it you don't want the lid to stick, because the lid could be hard to open if it's sticky around here. So I make sure I clean it off pretty good. And I notice if I tie this on too tight, it's hard to get open, because if the yogurt gases up, it's hard to open. So you just just loosely put it on. You don't have to like make it tight. So, and then these just sit out overnight, 12 hours, and then you can taste it in the morning, and then you refrigerate it. And usually eat it within 4 days is what it usually, 3 or 4 days, it usually stays good. Up to a week, I would say it stays good in the fridge. Don't eat a whole lot right away, because if you're not used to it, it might cause upset stomach or whatever, because if you're not used to eating all these enzymes and probiotics, it might bother your stomach. So just eat a little bit at a time, like maybe 1/3 of a cup or a little more than 1/3 of a cup. And then you can eat more in one sitting as you get used to it. And then the taste, as far as the taste, I like to put ground cinnamon on it, because it kind of sweetens it up, and it's not sugar, and it's good for your, it's better than sugar or any artificial sweeteners. Cinnamon is good for regulating your blood sugar, and it sweetens up the yogurt, and it tastes good. And then I'll put like raspberries or sliced strawberries or blackberries I like to put on it. And you can kind of experiment with anything that you like. But if you're doing a cleanse, it's good to use berries and then the ground cinnamon. So that's it. That's the coconut yogurt, and then you just refrigerate it. Leave it out overnight and refrigerate it, and then you're ready to eat it. So I leave it out overnight because that's probably a good gauge as far as time-wise. So I put it in before I go to bed, and then get up in the morning, put it in the fridge, and it's good for dessert, or it's good for breakfast. Like before breakfast, it's good to have your enzymes in the morning, first thing in the morning. Okay, that's it. Coconut yogurt. Good night.